Hey YouTube, clearly needed to come back on here and clarify myself. Before I left for my camping trip, I'd found a bunch of information on YouTube that I thought was super relevant, and I just quickly posted it and posted some links to find it on your own and look at it on your own, and got some pretty negative comments and feedback from that, which I do not understand people coming on YouTube to do that kind of stuff. It's such a waste of time, but it's all right. I just want to be really clear. You know, when you are researching and you are looking for truth, you are going to find it in some interesting places. And since most of the people I talk to on here are blood over intent, you know, I think that you would understand that. If you found it through Quasi, then you're obviously able to listen to someone's information who's delivering it pretty poorly. A lot of good information is not wrapped up pretty or digestible or easy, and if it was, I think we'd probably have a lot more figured out. So sometimes information comes from interesting sources, and so I had found this guy, Brian Austin Lambert 33, and you know, he's got this whole thing which I wasn't really interested in, but what I was interested in was some of his information, which is actually exceptional. It's exceptional. He is a engineer, and he does understand very well electromagnetic energy and optics and plasma physics. And I don't know what kind of research you guys have been into, but I've looked at a lot of stuff that is very related to this over the years. So when I looked at his work, a lot of things came together for me, a lot of understanding. So perhaps that's why I was able to look at it, and other people feel like so put off by it. You know, it actually explains a lot of stuff. And I'm just talking about the electromagnetic energy, the plasma, the optics. These are things that he definitely has right. That, you know, if you're looking for the truth, you should probably look at and consider. And maybe you need to do some other research first. I mean, I get that. The red and the blue is a huge component of this and why there's truth in it. If you look back, if you do your research on that, there was a time where blue was never referenced. It was never referenced as a color. A lot of other colors were, and a lot of colors were referenced that we don't really know today. And like a good example of that is Odysseus referenced the red wine sea, the color of the sea being red. And you'll not only see this in old writings, but in art as well. So there has been a time in this world where we lived in a different age, and I think we can all agree on that. If you look at the mud floods, if you look at the information that's out there about the sunken worlds, the things that they find under the water, you know, we know there's been different ages. If you believe in Atlantis at all, you know there's been different ages. So that's really what this guy is talking about. And his understanding of electromagnetic energy and the flow of it, and that it reverses, is extremely factual. You know, and if the guy is angry, you know, a lot of people are. If people make comments to him like and I'm sure probably way worse than I received by just mentioning him, I'd probably be angry too, you know. And if he wants to tie himself to a rock every Christmas, great. You know, whatever, who cares? I'd rather see somebody doing that than the shit you usually see people doing at Christmas. So I don't know why that would bother anybody. You know, I'm not talking about this guy's information and that we should listen to him and like we were listening to Quasi for a little while. I mean, none of that turned out, did it? You know, so, you know, people have their conclusions that they draw when they take in certain information, and this person's drawn certain conclusions, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't look at his information, because if, you know, I don't know if you've ever looked at Enslaved by No Media's work, but he talks a lot about optics and the human eye and how we perceive things. And even Brian Austin Lambert, you know, he talks about like the flashlight analogy and stuff. And what our sun is, you know, this focal point of the light hitting the lens. I mean, this is just really simple science. And when science is observable, testable, and repeatable, it is truth. That's what science should be. Science is not theoretical bullshit. And I think a lot of us understand and realize that. So I just wanted to be a little bit more clear about why I shared his information and why I thought it was worth looking at. And obviously I needed to preface that with, I'm not telling you to buy into his conclusions. But him deciphering the Bible as a physical and not esoteric information to me is great. It's great. I mean, I don't get on with esoteric bullshit. I don't like new age bullshit. I don't like feel good, everything has to be happy bullshit. If you resonated with every single thing, if you had to resonate with all the information that you needed to put this all together, you would have put it all together already. It's going to come in packages that are weird. Like I really like bums on the street who yell strange things and act odd and don't have homes, because they're exempling like human behavior done more spontaneously and freakishly, and that's good, that's right. Everybody sitting in the same normal box is not good, it's not right. And if everything has to like feel good, I mean, you're in the wrong place. You're living in duality, and it's not gonna all feel good. So we have to look for information in strange places, and when we get the full story, which we will get, it might be really shocking and bizarre. So, I think finding something shocking or bizarre or weird or unusual, you just need to get over it. It's just going to be that way. And I don't come on YouTube to sit and have bad or shitty conversations with people. To me, this is all information sharing. And that's why I come on here, is to share information. And so, I don't really want to get involved in a shit show. I mean, I guess a lot of people put up with negative comments and stuff on here. It's just, I haven't encountered that much on here yet. I don't leave negative comments in different places on YouTube. I always try to be a uplifter, but that's cool. I mostly watch videos on here as opposed to making them. I've definitely made a lot more recently. I might scale that back and become an observer again, because I definitely feel like I figured out some stuff that needs to be done. So I want to become action oriented anyway, and work on that and work on some resources and stuff. So I don't want to spend all my time on here, but I just wanted to clarify the information that I thought was relevant in this person's work. And it does correlate with Philip Drisnan's information about the mud floods, and I've actually got a lot more out of it than I'm expressing here, because I feel like the backlash showed me that maybe people weren't in the same place I was with stuff, and had done different research and were in their own place, which is cool. I just don't like I don't like bullying. I don't like stuff that feels like that. I mean, I don't mind crazy and I don't mind weird, but blatant disregard and stuff just feels pointless to me. It's something I'll probably ignore or walk away from. If you bully me in person, you're gonna get it. I'm not gonna put up with that. When you do it to people online, it makes the person who did it feel like kind of smug and happy with themselves, because there's really no repercussion for them. And then the person who receives it sort of has to deal with that blank space and just move on from it. But to me, this is about information sharing. I left social media. I left groups. I got kicked out of flat earth groups online because I'm that weird of alternative of a thinker, and people can't deal with it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't perceive that we're really in a place of coming together yet. I see just a lot of minutia, a lot of arguing about the details, a lot of slowing things down by our attempts at interacting with each other and sharing information. I'm not going to stop trying to share information, but I definitely don't want to do it under certain circumstances. Weird is good, freaky is good. You know, people saying how they really feel is good, but anything past that just isn't really worthy of our time. It really does slow energy down and so forth. But anyway, I still like this Brian Austin Lambert 33 person and what he is saying on a electromagnetism, plasma physics, optics level. It is not wrong. It is quite right. And it's actually kind of exciting information if you apply it to some other different ideas. But perhaps I will find my own way to talk about that. That's so I don't have to associate it with somebody who obviously people think is so whatever. I don't even cares. But I'm looking for the truth, and I'm going to seek a real story, and I'm looking for action. I'm still on the same path. That's still what I intend to do. And I imagine we'll find all kinds of information in crazy, weird places. And we might even get part of the story and really not like it. It's really possible. So I am going to do some further research right now about petrification. If I come up with something that's really good nugget-wise, I will try to share it the best way that I can. And just know that if I reference anybody else on YouTube, that I'm mining information. I don't subscribe to any one person's idea in its entirety, and I never will. So, and you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. So, I'm going to study some petrification more and transition metals and ion colors, because I found some information on that was very intriguing, which has to do with petrification as well. But, you know, I encourage everybody to look at simple sciences and stuff and sort of bone up on, you know, it's just stuff, the simple stuff is just not what we were taught. We were all taught like super theoretical bullshit. So, peeling back the onion. Still love you guys. Bye.